In the heart of Manitoba, music isn't just a sound, it's a lifeline. Behind the Music takes you on a journey through the lives of local artists, revealing the raw passion that fuels their creativity. From the cramped basements where they hone their craft, to the electrifying moments on stage, we explore their inspirations and the struggles they face along the way. Each story is unique, yet they all share a common thread, the relentless pursuit of their dreams. Discover how these artists channel their experiences into powerful melodies and witness the transformative power of music as it connects us all. Join us as we celebrate the voices that shape our community and inspire us to keep pushing forward.
Hey, so I'll just get you to introduce yourself.
All right, my alias or my real name? No,
Whichever you prefer, buddy.
no, people are gonna some people recognize me. Anyways, my name's Ken Friedrich, and I am promoter, drummer, MC, president of the Park Community Center. Yeah, all those things.
Nice, nice. So, what got you started, like into the music scene on a musician side, and then we'll go into the more professional side of it.
Okay, musician side. Good thing you told me this was an adults only thing. So, because this story, I don't think you want to hang around and talk to the kids about this one. Hanging out, two of my best friends actually are from the scene from way back. Henry Hansen was in punk bands back in the early 90s, actually, in that Wheat City Hardcore documentary. He's in it a ton. He's one of the major players back in the day. And Chris Nethery, great guitar player, one of the best in the scene, been in metal bands since the 90s. So those are my two best friends, and we're hanging out. And I've always been kind of into music, but never played music for certain reasons, probably being too drunk, younger, and lazy and working too much. And so we're hanging out, and Henry said, I want to start a band. And I was like, he's like, with or without you guys? So he's like, looked at me, he goes, you want to be in my band? And I said, yeah, I'll be in your band. I didn't play anything. I was probably about 15 beers deep. So I said, sure, sign me up. And because I was jumping in, and Chris figured, oh, fuck, I'll jump in too. So that's how Numbskull was born, and that's how my music journey started. I started on bass because that's just what he had handy, and Henry had a bass and an amp, and I had nothing, so I was like, sure, I'll try bass. I wasn't Rudy Sarzo, not even close. So fat fingers, kids, those are drum hands, right? So I tried my thing at the bass for about a year maybe, and we brought another drummer in, and friend of ours, and he was a church drummer, and we were a punk band, so it was tough for him to kind of wrap himself around things like that. He's a good drummer, great drummer, just couldn't wrap it around. So one day the drum kit was here again, booze was included, and sat behind the kit just to give the boys kind of time, because we're used to having a drummer, and I knew the songs, so I wasn't a drummer or a good drummer by any stretch. I did this very awkwardly, and they liked it. They were like, hey, yeah, like you're doing better than the other guy, so you're our drummer now. So but the fun thing about that one was I was the one that had to fire the drummer. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't happy for me for many years, probably. He was like, but we're good now. And this is 10 years ago, 11 years ago, maybe. We've been going for 13 years now. So yeah, I just became a drummer overnight. Bought a drum kit from a good buddy of mine, Butch Man, who's a promoter and a drummer all over the place, and Sybil Jack, and good friend, and hooked me up. And that's where I started, and where I, to this day, well, I've just stepped away from the band a few months ago, and I'm on an indefinite hiatus. But my daughter has picked up the sticks, and she's full time with the band now, so which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. I actually seen one of the shows where your daughter was behind the kit. She did really, really well.
Well, she's the better drummer, so we made the decision. No, she's for a kid that doesn't practice, man, I tell you, that kid just the songs. The boys can play the song one time through, and she's got it.
He's
It's
got the
pretty
rhythm.
cool.
Good, it's good. So,
Yeah.
in terms of inspirations on the music side, what type of music drives you to be creative?
Oh, that's a good question, Jeff. I listen to everything. Lots of people know me as kind of a metalhead because I love metal. I go to metal shows and bang my head just like the rest of the metalheads do. And but I like everything. Blues, fusion, anything weird nowadays. In my 50s now, and I guess I've heard all the rock and roll, and now I just try to find the weirdest shit that's out there. And TikTok and Facebook can be a wormhole, eh? You can find yourself 3 a.m. listening to shit that you'd never ever think you'd listen to, just because you can't sleep and there's nothing else to look at. So, yeah. But my inspirations, I guess, they came from all sorts of things. Like my mom and dad were, they're in their 40s when they had me, so they're older people. And when very musical house, always like old school country music. I'm talking like Merle Haggard, Hank Snow, and all the old school dudes that I fucking Charlie Daniels. I fucking love them all. Johnny Cash can go on for days. And then my dad was German, so all the Papa shit was fucking in your ears Sunday morning, especially when we got older. You're hungover and you drank till 3 a.m. Your father knew it. Fucking 7 a.m. That fucking shit was hitting the stereo, eh? And, yeah, love you, Dad. Yeah, rest in peace, brother. Yeah, so that shit, and it's party stuff. It's fun shit. It's like, so it got you going. And like when I was a kid, I used to hit the pots and pans of that shit, eh? And so that was an inspiration. And then I got an older sibling that 5 years ahead of me. So, Journey, Styx, fucking Foreigner, all that shit was blaring through his fucking walls, right? And then, hey, here's a record, right? And then Twisted Sister was one of the first ones that I think I fell in love as a kid. The fucking my buddy's at my buddy's house, and he showed me the fucking Stay Hungry cover, and I was just like, "That's fucking metal." The guy's eating a bone, like fucking. He got a bone in his mouth, and he's got fucking big hair, and yeah. So Twisted Sister was a huge part of my life, and Def Leppard, of course, like the old. Which I'm taking my daughter and July, we're going to see Def Leppard, and she's a
Yeah,
huge
same here.
Yeah,
Me
right
and
on.
Nate.
Yeah. Well, you can't go wrong with Def Leppard. I mean, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
it's a killer lineup.
I mean, Jesus, that band is just they just they just show you that you can just keep going and keep going. They went through a lot of bands broke up, like in the I was going to high school in the 80s and stuff. So in my 90s, I was in my 20s, and a lot of bands broke up because of that grunge era that came in. And Def Leppard didn't. They stayed true. They had to kind of retool a little bit, and they struggled. Like some of their albums didn't do as good as the other ones, but they stayed with it. And that bands that do that really got my respect, because sometimes you just get everything fucking thrown at you. And some bands, like, I mean, the guy lost his arm. I mean, he plays drums. I mean, it makes
It's
me kind of
impressive.
go, fuck, my problem isn't too bad. I mean, I've had my fucking health issues and stuff. And like, sometimes I look in the mirror going, dude, like, at least you didn't lose your arm. Like, and so testament to guys that can keep that shit going. And the guy, like, as far as I saw documentaries, I mean, he never thought about giving up. He was like, no, I'm gonna keep drumming. Like,
Yeah, I'll learn to do it however I got to do it.
that's not how, I don't know if I lost my arm, that'd be the first thing I'd be thinking. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's cool. Yeah, all those bands are really kind of one way or another kind of inspired me. And then of course the old Metallica. I was in grade 12, grade 11 when Injustice for All came out, and so that shit, Slayer, at the parties, any party you went to, those two bands are cranked up in the corner. So yeah, all those bands. It's hard to pin down one kind of thing. It's just a big hodgepodge of bands that have influenced me.
Awesome. So then, when it goes to the professional side, what kind of sparked you to go deeper into the business side opposed to the musical side?
Accident.
Oh,
just like drumming. Yeah, it was both weren't planned. I mean, I guess I maybe had maybe some inklings about it when I was younger to be involved in the music business. I've always like I went to recording engineering school in like 1991, the Columbia School of Academy in Vancouver, and I did recording. Like I did that side of thing, audio engineering for a while, and then of course that life got busy and I got involved in other shit and just kind of left that behind. And of course, everything just switched overnight. That was like kind of like between the analog and digital era. The digital era was just kind of coming out. And so when I went to go back into it, it just seemed like way too much of a learning curve to get back in. And I mean, you'd know, right?
yep.
And I don't know, I could have did it probably, but I just didn't feel like doing it anymore. And so he left that behind. And then I don't know, it just again, Butch Man, I'm going to mention his name a few times. I was at one of his shows, and it was awesome. It was a North Hill Inn. It was good to see a lot of people, and I thought this guy knows what he's doing, and I just said, hey man, I'd like to sit down with you one day. And so we sat down and for a couple beers at the dock, Clancy's at the time, and drank about way too many beers. And next thing I know it, he asked me to MC one of his shows, and I MC'd for him. I don't know, a year or two maybe, and then kind of co-promoted with him. My first co-promotion show was Planet Eater, Tyrant's Demise at the North Hill Inn. They're both fairly big bands too, which was really cool. And then yeah, I just started doing it. I didn't even think about it really. Just all of a sudden, like he stepped away, and then I started Hothead Productions probably in 2011, and then I just did the odd show, and then I did shows like wherever I could in community centers, suds, wherever. I didn't really have a home, and but now I've got two homes basically, kind of where I throw most of my shows. I've got the 40, which is a bar here in Brandon, one of the best stages around. Great, unbelievable people, like family that I work with, and Eastside Eatery family too. Great new room, like Jay and Mary have just been phenomenal of getting things going at that place. And we've got so many events booked there. And the 42, I do my locals only through the 40. That's where I started my locals only, and they gave me a chance. I was drunker than hell. And a lot of these stories, I was drunk, kids. I was drunk as hell, and talked to the lady that was a manager at the time and just said, "Hey, can I I heard like through the grape, some guys are coming to me saying I'd like to play the 40, but I don't have 3 sets." And that's what I heard from a lot of guys. I don't have 3 sets of the 40. And I was like, yeah, it's tough sometimes. You don't get 30, 40 songs together if you're just starting out. So I said, well, what if I put 2 or 3 or 4 bands on a bill? The night's still covered. And the before, they're like the people before, they're like, well, and I understand it's something new. It's not everybody was like ready to jump on it, but when the new owners came in and the new manager came in, that's when the things started rolling. I talked to her and she was like, yeah, get a hold of me during the week. And I said, okay. So I messaged her and she says, okay, let's give it a shot. What date you want? And that was 6 years ago. We did locals, our first locals only. We're up to 16 now.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if we even answered your question. This is what happens when you get over 50, kids. You start talking about the war all of a sudden. No, just kidding. Yeah. The influence. Well, yeah. So basically, Butch is the one that kind of got me into it. I think he's seen something, and he's seen something in me, and he's seen that I was excited and I wanted to do it. And then when I did the MC thing, it just kind of came natural. Everybody goes, oh, like, do you plan any? I'm like, no, I just go up and get drunk and talk in the microphone, and that's me. And Butch let me do that, and I got to give him a lot of props because I still MC today, and I get asked by certain people to MC, which is kind of neat on the side, even if it's not my show. So yeah, just anything I can do to help the scene, and like Butch helped me so much that I help anybody that I can help too as well. Just kind of keep it on, right? So
No, exactly. You pay it
in the
forward.
yeah, pay it forward, and that's what we should be doing in the scene. I mean, can't make everybody do it, but a lot of people do. Like without even saying anything, just musicians are that way. A lot of musicians are that way. They're just like, if I can help in any way, I'm going to. You're gonna get the odd guy that's like, no, I'm not interested in helping anybody, and that's fine. It's nothing. It's that person could have their own reasons for it, right? But I'd like to do it. I'd like to help as much as I can. It's nice to hear when people say, "Hey, man, you gave me my first show," because like I don't ask any questions when people say I want to do a show. I'm like, okay, are you free this day? I don't ask genre. I don't ask how long you've been playing or how good are you. Like, as long as they show up on time and play their 45 or whatever, everything's awesome. And I've never had an issue in 16 locals only. So, and then I've done shows outside of locals only, of course, too. Close to, I was probably in the 50s, 60s, 70s mark. I don't know. I didn't count past 20 anymore. So, um, but yeah, it's awesome. It feels good too, when people appreciate what you're doing and stuff like that. It kind of pushes you a little bit more.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. It's almost like you took on added family members that you got to make sure keep their head up kind of feeling.
Yeah. I've told
Yeah.
my younger daughter that she's got about 200 siblings. It's my younger daughter too, which is really cool. She's kind of followed me a little bit. I always tell everybody she's taken all my jobs, but she's taken my drum job, which is awesome. And she's actually part of Hothead Productions with me now and is a co-owner. So we're co-promoter and we're do things together. I'm showing her the ropes. She's got the personality down to a T. She's got the younger kids' ears. Like I love dealing with the younger bands, but I mean, these are her, they're her people, eh? So she's got a connection with them, which is really good. And the older ones, she's got a connection with them too, because she's a musical kid. I took her to Prince when she was 8 years old, and she's never stopped talking about it. And she's 22 years old now. So,
Oh, there you
uh,
go.
yeah, she's very inclined to music. It's something that comes naturally to her too, as with me. So yeah, it's really neat to watch. Yeah.
Awesome. So then, if it wasn't for the music side, like Hothead Productions, Numbskull, any of that stuff, what do you think you'd be doing?
Standing on roster or rolling up my pant leg. I don't know, man. Like I'm one of those guys that doesn't stick to things very, very long. I'm divorced, and so yeah, I don't stick to stuff very much. No, I like running my own businesses. I like being on my own. I don't mind working for other people, but I like doing things on my own. Pushes me a little bit more that everything's on my shoulders. Kind of gives me more kind of push. Like I had my own courier company back in the day. Had to give it up for certain reasons, but yeah, it was awesome. It was something I was proud of. Like when somebody said good job, I knew it was they're talking to me. There wasn't anybody behind me. So um yeah, probably just an entrepreneur. I just I like doing things. I like finding new ideas. I like not sticking into the same kind of sector. I mean, I've done construction in the past and I've done a bunch of other things, and I like doing it, like working with my hands, but also like trying to get this melon
Keep
going
it
too
moving.
sometimes. Yeah. And your 50s kids, you got to keep the melon going. Otherwise, like my daughters say, I think dad's going a little crazy out in the yard 'cause he's talking with a cat again. But they
Gotta
don't
talk
understand that we
something.
actually have real conversations. So I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
I do it
Yeah,
with my Malamute in the yard all the time anyway. So I
there
get you.
you go. Yeah,
My kids say the same thing. Dad's talking to Zeus. What's the matter with him?
yeah. What do you do? Yeah, my daughter, the other day, Dad. I'm like, hey, 1 sec. I'm still talking to him. Like, we haven't figured shit out yet, eh?
We got a problem we got to solve here. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, he's my roommate, eh? He's my only roommate I got now. So kids are all gone. Well, my oldest is moved. She lives out of the house, and I got two that live by Steinbach. So
No, he wasn't pulling his weight in the house then. That was the
yeah,
problem.
yeah. We only get in there. I don't think people want to hear my issues with my cat at the moment, but yeah, we still have to work a few things out yet.
So then I always like to kind of have this question. I know it got Dylan and Dusty from DB and the Deadbeats kind of going,
Good,
oh, that's an interesting one. Or Robert even, it threw him for a loop. Because
good.
normally when people watch these, they're expecting this hard-hitting deep dive into, like the
Yeah,
negative sides, the corrupted sides, the everything else.
we've
When
all
it,
heard stuff. Yeah.
yeah, right. Whereas to me, I always like to ask, because we all have them as musicians, professionals, anything. What useless musical talents do you possess?
Uh, I burp to music sometimes when I'm by myself in the kitchen, and that's where my cat will kind of have little issues with me over that one. Yeah, I don't know. People are like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, that's it, kids. I don't know. I used to play spoons when I was younger. My dad's friends would get all drunk and hang out, and they'd put a pair of spoons in my fucking hands, and come on, kid, right? And it was fun as hell and you got to stay up past bedtime too, right?
Right. Why not?
So what the fuck? I always sat with the boys in the fucking kitchen and played spoons, and can't do it very fucking well anymore. I tried it the other day, and it was pretty fucking worthless. But yeah, that's about the best of answer I can really fucking come up with on a Tuesday.
Yeah, well, no, that's a good one, right?
You know what? That's a really good fucking question, and I could see why the other guy's like, "Holy shit, I gotta like actually think about something now." And yeah, burping, man. I don't know. Like, I don't do it very well. I don't think everybody is. Oh, you like no, not very good. It's when you're bored and you live alone, and your best friend's your cat, and you listen to music all the time, and that's it.
Yeah, you find whatever way you can to fill your time.
That's all you do, and that's all you do, and yeah. I always tell my kids, if you're not laughing, you're not living,
Well,
Uh,
exactly. You got to be able to laugh at yourself and the little things you do, right? Like,
yeah. I always try to keep things light as much as possible. There's so much heaviness in the world, and I get heavy too sometimes. I tell people to give me a slap in the fucking cheek when I do that, but yeah, there's so much heaviness now. It's nice to. That's why it's that question's great because I mean, there's so much heaviness out there. It's like nobody's like, oh God, here we go again. What does he hate about fucking the industry? Well, we got another hour. Like we can go on, but you can. There's problems in anything. The music industry isn't just one problem. It's problems everywhere. Everything has a problem. Music industry has done some good things and it's done some horrible things, right? So that's all I'm going to speak on that one. Yeah.
so in your time in the scene as as a musician or even promoter, what are some of your favorite venues that you've ever played or had the luxury of putting a show on it?
Oh yeah. Fuck. Where do I start? Shit. Well, Let's start near the beginning, I guess. The favorite ones in Brandon here. I got my start at North Hill Inn, and I'll always have part of my heart will always be there. It's not the best venue in the world, but it just has something to it. Just something magical in that fucking place when you walk in and you see a band. I mean, I watched Napalm Death in that fucking place, and it was fucking insane. I remember looking back at the crowd going, Napalm Death is playing in this fucking little tiny pub on the top of the North Hill in Brandon. And yeah, so I always have a heart for that place. Cheers, Eric. Gave me one of my first starts up there too. Eric and Polly. Great people. Um, Moving on down, Suds, Brandon University. I did shows there for a few years, and fucking family again, family. Carla, cheers to you. Great place, tiny little place, but we had so many memorable shows in that place, and that's where I was kind of really starting to do shows regularly. I finally kind of found a home instead of sporadic looking around. Such as like fucking do shows here, man. So it was just one after the other for a while, and it was all ages, which was really awesome. That's something that I've always been trying to do as much as I can is all ages. And then such, of course, the 40 and Eastside Eatery. I've already spoke about them. Family, fucking favorite venues, great venues. Always treated me so good. And Winnipeg, I got really, really lucky. Just before the place closed, 2 weeks before it closed, Numbskull got to play the zoo. Um,
Nice.
I heard of the zoo when I lived in Vancouver, man. Like it was well known in Vancouver. And when I moved to Winnipeg, that's everybody fucking talked about the fucking zoo. So Henry and Nethery both played the zoo in their older time or younger times. So it meant a lot to them to get that last show. And I can't stop thinking about that fucking place. It was a heartbreaker because it was like we were played and then 2 weeks later they shut their doors, eh? But what a fucking fun time on that stage and what a venue. I saw like 3 or 4 shows, maybe some metal shows, other bands from Winnipeg in there. But yeah, that one show we played, never forget it. What a venue. And then Royal Albert, we got to play the Winnipeg Punk Fest last year. And that was fucking rad. I've watched some shows of the Royal Albert, some like really heavy fucking metal shows. Uh, Vader and Decapitated, stuff like that. Um, Great venue, like for an old venue. So yeah, and I got to give a shout out to Park Community Center, of course. Not because I'm on the board, but that place has been home to so many fucking shows. There's a quick story, a punk band out of Europe played Raise Fist. They're a bigger band back in the day, and the guy got them to come and play the fucking Park Community Center. I mean, NoFX has played the Valley View Center. I mean, these promoters back in the day at balls, like they'd probably be coming out of the fucking screen right now, compared to me. Like when I have never really had to put myself out, and some promoters do, and I pat them on the back because some guys they lose their fucking shirts on these shows sometimes, and like I never try to put myself in that position, um, but yeah, I mean it's happened. Back in the day, it's happened. But some guys lose a lot. But I mean, these guys had balls out to here bringing these big bands in, and Raise Fist played, and I guess the opening bands, the security guard got a little freaked out, thinking things are going to get carried away, and he calls the cops, and shit hit the fan. Like Raise Fist didn't even get on stage. Things got so fucking chaotic there that one of my friends, she actually booted the fucking cop window out. I won't say her name. Everybody knows who it is, anyways. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some shows like bands like Ripcords, for instance. They're a punk metal band out of Montreal. Been going since 1980. They've actually wrote a song called "Brandon Rocks" about the scene. Oh, sorry, fat
Okay.
finger. Yeah, Brandon's. Yeah, I just realized my phone's starting to tell me that it wants to be plugged in. So just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brandon Rocks is the song they called, and great tune. And yeah, so it's pretty crazy when a punk band from Montreal writes a song about your little town. It's 40,000 people, 50,000 people. So, um, yeah, I can't even remember what the question was now. I think we gone around for a while. I was plugging my phone in, doing some dishes. Like, yeah, sorry, kids. But yeah, uh, yeah, the so many venues. You know, it's unfortunate, and I didn't get to play more venues. I got started in my 40s, which I don't like. Start in your 40s, but if you can start in your 20s, do that. It's really cool hearing people start in their 40s, 50s, and even 60s. Uh, Even if you're 70 and you want to play and you're able to do it. I mean, I'm really glad I got pushed to do it, because I don't think I would have without the two guys that I talked about, Chris and Hank. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I don't think I would have probably picked up the drums if it wasn't for those two guys. So, and it sounded crazy at the time. It was like, I'm 40. I'm fat. I'm out of shape. You want me to play drums? Like, so, but no, turning like looking back, it's some of the best times I've ever had. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
So then, if you could work with anyone, who would it be?
Oh shit, I don't know. Like bands or like or promoters or both.
Either
Bands,
or.
I don't know. Uh any bands. Fuck, I'm so open, man. I don't know. I remember this one guy said he fucking plays spoons and plays the kazoo, and I was like, yeah, fucking jump up there, man. I'll give you 40 minutes.
Giver.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know. Like, for some reason, I've always wanted to work with a Econoline Crush, and I've got possibly a way to be able to work with them. I've got some friends, mutual friends. Hasn't happened yet. Discussions actually gone along. Actually, the Loud Awards, when I'm gonna do some shameless advertising. We won the Punk Manitoba Loud Music Award for Punk Band of the Year. Numbskull did, and I won for Ambassador. Uh, don't worry, I paid off a lot of people. Uh, yeah, fucking. I got to meet a Econoline Crush that night. Been a fan of those guys. They actually played in Vancouver when I was younger, like in my early 20s. They were like always playing around Vancouver. And so I met them way back in the day. And then I got to meet them at the Manitoba Loud Awards. Again, another drunk story. Heavily drunk, and walked up to Trevor Hurst, which was the lead singer, and I just asked him quickly if he'd play the 40. And he likes the 40. So it's a possibility. Those guys, they're busy and stuff. And Trevor works. He's also a psych nurse as well, so he's got a whole nother life besides the band. But
He's the
hopefully,
promoter.
I've got something in mind in the next in a year or two that I'd like to possibly work with them if I can. But yeah, that's one band that kind of sticks out. But there's so many Winnipeg bands that I can't even start naming. Murder Birds, all sorts of great bands out of Winnipeg that I'd like to work with one day. Played with Murder Birds, Numbskull has, so it's close. Good guys. So many great bands in Winnipeg and beyond. I mean, even in the rural areas, you go to Steinbach, you go to Morden. It's weird, man. There's some good bands in every little nook and cranny there is out there, and you just don't hear about them as much as the big city bands, but they're there. Like Portage has got some great bands that I talk to all the time, that I work with. And yeah, it's great. It's cool because it's like an extended family, right? It's like um, the people in Winnipeg treat me just as good as the people in Brandon do, so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, Winnipeg's got a hell of a scene out there. I know Brandon does too. I've
Mm,
attended quite a few shows. I played shows in Brandon, Winnipeg, places
yeah.
like that. And yeah, definitely. I have to say that going to either one of the cities, you feel like you're with family the minute you walk in the door. And some of these
Yeah.
people, like I remember going to the 40 one night. I think it was 18 Rabbit when Matt was filling in for him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Corey?
yeah.
So walking in there and just talking to some of the people, these people talk to me like they knew every little thing about me. The only
Oh
thing
yeah,
they didn't know
man.
was my damn name. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like and they were just friendly as all hell. When I first time I ever attended a show in Winnipeg, I walked into the Bulldog because I used to look after Indigo and stuff, before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then now that they've kind of got past their newbie stage, they're now working with Dag, and Dag's pushing them further, right?
Yeah.
And I walked into Bulldog for one of their first shows there, and everyone there is like, "Oh, that's Frozen Fire." It's like, well, actually, it's Jeff, but thank you.
I call you whatever. Yeah. Oh, I get called Hothead. I get called Hothead. Numbskull. I get called Numbskull, which I don't know how you take that. But yeah, I know what they mean when they say, "Hey, Numbskull." And my buddy one time got upset with this guy because he's like, "Hey, that's not fucking cool." I'm like, "No, it's the band name, dumbass." Like, oh, okay. He thought he was actually calling me a Numbskull, eh? He might have. I don't know. But no, yeah, Indigo. I love those guys. We played with them a lot, and I've probably 2-3 shows I've worked with them. Family, fucking Gwyn and Sheldon and the boys. They're just awesome guys to deal with and to hang with, and just genuine fucking people. And really cool too is like I'm a father-daughter duo in my band, and their father-daughter duo in their band. Sheldon the dad and Gwyn the daughter, and it's cool. It's cool seeing that. There's a few bands that are doing that, and makes my heart full when I see that, because it's the next stage, the next kids that are coming up, and that's why I work with the kids so closely, because they're taking over. Like, I don't know how long I'm going to kick around for. I got asked that question. I said, fuck, I don't know. Could walk out on the street and get smacked by a fucking car someday, like tomorrow or whatever. Oh, we're getting morbid now, eh? But you never know. Like, you don't know. I tried to come up with something more clever than that, but it didn't work.
Could have
But
some
yeah,
fine destination shit.
exactly. Yeah. Fucking. Still, I'll never. It's funny how people talk about that fucking logging truck scene, and I'm like, dude, I didn't drive behind those fucking cocksuckers before that movie. And as soon as that movie happened, I was like, that's why I don't drive behind those things, man. Like, yeah, they're crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think that, the youth, it's really cool too, because I see a lot of the guys in the scene here, the veterans, and Matt being one major guy that's taking young kids under his wing. He's a guitar teacher, so he does that, but he also will take former students or current students and put them in his band. And some guys wouldn't do that, eh? And he does without even. And the kids are good, man. I mean, they deserve to be on that stage with them. I mean, but it's cool seeing that, and I give Matt all the high fives in the world for that. And there's other guys in the scene too that are doing the same thing, and that's awesome. And the young guys they're taking it, like they're listening, and that's cool too. Like I might get some eye rolling, if I start fucking going on for too long and like doing the dad thing, like. But most times they're there and they're listening, and they're everything that I'm saying to them, it's going in there, and it's
Absorbing it.
yeah, they might not keep it all, and that's okay. They keep what you need and throw the rest out. But I always tell to the young guys, go talk to the older. Like, that's why another reason I did locals only is I was putting the younger bands on with the older bands, like the ones that have been around 10, 20, 30 years, and kids starting out. And I remember, like, I go on stage and I always chat with the musicians all the time, because most of them are friends of mine, and I just like meeting new guys too. And so I'm on the stage and I MC as well, so I'm always like yapping to the guys. And one time I was standing there and there's just two young guys listening to one of the old guys in our scene, and they're just they're taking notes. Like, you could tell they were absorbing every fucking word that he was saying to them. And I was like, that's what I want. That's what I wanted from this locals only. So It's good. And then they're like, yeah, that guy told us so much. I'm like, yeah, and he gave me his number and he said I can call again. And I'm like, right on, man. Like that's the way it should be.
Well, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, that's a generation that's going to take it from us, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. And like, um, there's been guys that I've asked questions. I mean, shit. Um, like I said, I kind of just fell into the drumming and the promoting game. So, I mean, anytime that, like Corey Thomas, talking about guys to work with, Corey Thomas would be one of the top promoter probably that I'd say if I can work with him. Um, he's been doing it long time. Ninja Cat. He does the big metal shows in Winnipeg,
Tons.
like the big metal shows. He's a phenomenal fucking guy. I love the guy to pieces. Like he's just very approachable, and stuff. And like him and Jenna from Mobina Galore opened up the side stage, and like it's massive. Like they've added another venue, and they're both musicians and they're both very good at what they do. Um, and yeah, like Corey's a drummer as well. So yeah, people like that when they talk, I listen. Like when Corey or even Dag, like when Dag says things to me, I'll listen to Dag. Dag's, he has some ideas too that I might have not thought of, and Butch as well. And it's not that they're going, hey, we got to tell. It's just more like just talk, right? We're talking. Sometimes they might pick up things from me. I don't know if they do, but I pick up things and I listen to people because like somebody might have an idea that I just didn't think of. And my daughter, even her friends, if they say, hey, like some of them call me dad, so they'll say, hey, dad, I got an idea, and I'll be like, yeah, tell me your idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all got to start somewhere, and most of the time that is sitting having drinks with buddies or hanging
Well,
out with somebody in some regard.
exactly. You just don't know where that idea is going to pop from, eh? Like that's why I sit and chat with the musicians after their sets or during, like before their sets. I'll go and have a chat with them at their table, because just I don't go there looking for anything. I just go there chatting with them. But sometimes they'll be like, "Hey, did you ever try this?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's a good idea." You know. So yeah, so there's some guys I've been around for. I mean, there's sometimes I sit around guys with 40 years experience around a table, and so I mean, when they talk, I kind of tend to listen a little bit, hear what they have to say.
No, absolutely. I do the same thing even with like other guitar players or drummers or
Yeah.
industry professionals. Even like I know my old band, we recorded our last EP with. Well, they did all the recording for us because my studio was taken apart at that particular point. So we went to Studio 23 with Jody Hunter.
Yeah.
And just sitting and yakking with him while the other guys were recording their parts, right? And it's
Okay.
the same thing. Just you sit there and well, what do you think of this new DAW? What do you think of, what Sure's trying to do with all their cardioid mics and going different directions with just different things. And it's quite interesting to see everyone's different dynamics and hearing their experiences with all these things that may
Exactly.
differ from yours, right?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody's ear is different too, eh? Like I remember this one guy is just like he just come up to me and sometimes drummers like it's funny they'll it's almost a language. They won't really say, hey, your snare sounds like shit, but they'll say something to you and you're like, yeah, my snare sounds like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just pick up on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they'll just like hand you their drum key, and okay, yeah. But no, yeah, yeah. My snare always sounds like shit, and I think people just got used to it. So, I remember when I lent it out to a guy, he's like, "What the fuck is that?" And I'm like, "My snare," and he's like, "Jesus Christ, that's horrible." But I'm like, whatever, it works for me, man. I tried like tuning it and changing it, and then it fucks me up a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well,
That's
just
my
leave it
excuse.
unique to you.
That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Eh? Like, yeah. I'm not I'm not one of those tuning drummers. Like I will tune. Like if something's really out of whack, I'll fucking tune it. I mean, I've got my my drum key on my fucking keychain. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think, my dad always said my dad was one of the smartest dudes that I've ever met in my life, and he always said, "You're never done learning. You're never done learning. So
No,
just keep learning. Like, if you think you're done learning, that you're not. You're not done learning.
no, you've
There's
just touched the surface, maybe.
yeah, there's guys that are 40. For instance, I know a guy that's in his 60s and he's taking drum lessons again. He's played for 42 years, but he said there's certain things that he's just not doing proper, and he's just taking lessons.
Well, and that was
And
like me with guitar too. Like I learned front porch picking with my grandfather when I was younger, and it was I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, all these other guitar players play and go like, well, I'm playing the same notes, I'm getting the same sound, but I do that different.
yeah,
What's going on, right? So then I reached out to Matt and I said like, can you help me?
yeah,
And he's like, absolutely, buddy, absolutely. So then
yeah.
I worked with Matt for a bit to actually play my chords correctly because I was using the wrong fingers. So I was
Mm.
making it harder for myself to play the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
So then we had a gig the weekend after, and our old vocalist, he laughed because I'm sitting there and I'm practicing in the back with all the new fretting and stuff that Matt had taught. And I couldn't fucking do it. I'm sitting there and I could play it, but I was so much slower, right? Like I couldn't grasp it. So then I switched out for that show, and then now that's all I've been doing with the new band is like, okay, well, nope, can't play it that way. Nope, sounds like shit. I had to make myself think it sounds like shit to not play it the old, as Matt would put it, incorrect way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you're
And
talking to a guitar teacher too, so you know, yeah. So that's all. No, that's awesome, and that's what I love about Matt. Some guys aren't accessible like that, and again, I don't fault anybody for not being accessible. That's their own thing. But yeah, that's awesome when you're able to go, hey, dude, like, hey, buddy, like, that's the way
I'm
it should
fucked
be,
up. What am
right?
I doing?
Yeah, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, yeah. Jade's got that with me where we don't have to talk. She'll just look at my facial expressions. She goes, yeah, fuck, oops.
My son
And
Caleb does that too. I
yeah,
started working with him on drums, and he'll be
yeah.
playing something and that. And I've been working with him, on kind of the slower tracks and stuff from like Queen and
No,
stuff like that.
yeah,
And he'll sit there and he'll be playing and playing, and then I'll look at him and I'll just kind of maybe I messed up. I'm going to do that again. And then he starts over,
yeah,
right? Like, it's just I guess it must be
yeah.
that kind of parental
I know. I don't
connection.
even try. I don't try to do it. I try actually hiding sometimes, so I'm not doing it. But she'll look at me lots, and the thing is, when I hide, she's looking for me. She's like looking for me to see what I'm like. I'm not one of those dads like you did it wrong and like blah blah blah. I try to keep it very. I try to remove myself as a father almost, and like and put myself there as kind of a mentor. Okay, you're not. She's not your kid, right?
Yeah.
She's yeah. So um, I try to mentor her as much as possible. I never want her to throw the drumsticks at me and say I'm never fucking drumming again, and my dad's a piece of shit and he made me quit drums. I never want that to happen.
No, not
So
at all.
I would rather her go, hey, my dad, he wasn't he wasn't a soft touch. He didn't go, yeah, you did a great job when she didn't do a good job. That's wrong too. That's almost as wrong as being a meathead and being an asshole to kids. Like you gotta be truthful, but there's a way to do it, right? Like when kids will say to me, what was my set like? How was my set? I'm not gonna fucking lie to them. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're awesome, man. But I'm not gonna also tear them down either. I'll say, hey, you guys are great, but can I say something? Yeah, go ahead. And then constructive criticism, right?
Well, exactly. They
not
got
not
something
how
that
you hear it, but just how you're like, hey, there's something, because sometimes they're like, yeah, because lots of times I got guys like, yeah, man, fucking totally. I know. I'm like, yeah, I knew you knew kind of thing. You had to, and especially with drummers, because I'm a drummer. I'm like guitarist. I'm not going to even try to pretend that I know anything about fucking guitar. I like solos. That's all I know about guitar. But drums, yeah, I'll look at a drummer, and it's funny because we'll almost lock eyes out of nowhere. Drummers know who drummers are, man, and you'll lock eyes, and the guys are like, "Ooh, shit," and you're like, "Oh yeah."
Oops.
Yeah. And then you'll talk about it after, like, yeah, you see that? Oh yeah, whatever, But the show goes on, and that's the thing I always tell everybody: guitars, singers, whatever the fuck they play, because you fuck up, you go on, you move on, you don't stop. Don't stop. Please don't stop.
No, just keep going. Like it never happened.
Somebody might disagree with me. I don't know. I'd love to hear the reason why they would disagree with me over that, because maybe it's something I'm missing. I always tell them, don't fucking stop. As I was a point where I lost both of my fucking drumsticks once at a show. And all I was doing was a kick, because the kick was keeping the boys going still. And they look back at me and they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, no drumsticks in my hand. I'm like, fuck, no drumstick. Yes, I know. I was supposed to have drumsticks nearby. I didn't have any. Again, I had a lot of those. And finally, yeah, fuck it, because you always know the drummers in the crowd, because those are the fuckers that will grab your drumstick, run up to you, and fucking hand them to you right away.
Yeah.
Or musicians. I've had guitar players run to me too. Any musician, they're like, oh shit, right? So, because they must have seen the terror in my eyes. I'm like, what the fuck are I doing? I'm just like, keep your foot going, keep your fucking foot going, man. Don't you dare stop now. And we didn't. They got the drumsticks back in my hand. We continued the song, and at the end of it, okay, everybody's like, holy fuck. And I'm like, yeah, I can't stop. I can't stop.
No, I gotta
Yeah.
keep that timing.
Yeah. And like my guitar player is almost going to stop, because he's got no drumsticks, man. And I just went, go, and he's like, okay.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Shit.
But then shit happens. I mean, I don't know how many times Henry, my singer bass player, has snapped a string. And like one time, one of my favorite shows actually we ever did was at Suds, and it was just fucking chaotic show. And Henry snapped the string, turned around and looked at me, and I'm like, just put it down and sing. Who gives a fuck? So he puts it down. I didn't tell him to step on it, but he did. Stepped on the bass and sang the rest of this fucking show. And it was probably one of our most raucous shows that we've ever had. The floor went nuts, because they're like, holy fuck, he blew a string and he's standing on his bass now. Punk rock, like,
Yeah.
and show must go on, you can't just stop a show to change a fucking string. And we're old school underground punk rockers. We don't carry extra guitars or extra. I mean, we do now, kind of, but back in the day, we didn't. You snap a string, and whatever. Yeah.
Well, on that,
The show must go on, right?
yeah, pretty much, eh?
Yeah. Freddie, the show must go on. Yeah.
Any socials that you want to shout out, like social media, anything? There's Hothead Productions or
Yeah, I'm not fancy pantsy. I'm 52-ish, going on to 3. Yeah, just my Facebook page. I actually run a page actually called Westman Musicians United on Facebook. Westman Musicians United. Check it out. I put everything local. Jeff posts on there all the time, so a lot of his stuff is on there. A lot of other guys post on there. You can buy or sell instrument on there. Is anything music related. And my shows are all on there. Dag posts on all of his shows on there as well. So yeah, it's a good place to kind of meet like-minded people. Westman, we're all kind of a family on that page. Been running that maybe for 5 years, 4 years, 5. I think I did it right around when I did locals only, so like 6 years now. But yeah, otherwise, Hothead Productions, my daughter and I, Jade, shout out to Jade. Yeah, it's on Facebook. Numbskull, we're on Facebook as well. Numbskull, come check us out. We don't post a lot. I'm still the manager for the band, I guess. I tried to step away, but sometimes you can't step away from family. So apparently I'm the manager now, I think. So yeah, I'm still doing the social media for them. They're just not, they just don't do it. One of the guys kind of does, but that's cool. Like I said, they're my family. There's uh won't even get into the whole Jerry Springer thing, but yeah, it's a weird. Henry and I are related in a weird way, so but we're family, and so I'm still doing that. So Facebook, Hothead, Numbskull, and of course Westman Musicians United. And I'd just like to say to everybody: support your local venue, support your local band, support your local promoter, and yeah. And if you're older and you want to start your instrument, do it. And if you're younger and you don't know, like fucking do it. Like just try it, and it's music is fun. And our scene's thriving. Winnipeg is thriving. Portage is thriving. This is a really good time. Fuck, I've heard the Paw is thriving. So
Yeah, they're getting up there now. Yeah, a lot of
yeah,
shows.
shout out to Badlands, to Dag for getting that fucking jump started. Shout out to Dag actually, Badlands Promotions, for all the hard work he does. He brings in some. So again, he's one of those guys that puts himself out a little bit. He brings in the bigger bands. So yeah, shout out to that guy. It's not easy to do. It's um I won't say it's thankless because it's not at all, but it's sometimes it's you can get, like, my daughter's learning. Promoting is it's not hard. I don't want to make it sound like it's a hard thing to do or it's difficult, but it can get time consuming. It can get you're working with a lot of personalities. Like I said, I've never really had any problems with anybody. I might have, and I've already forgotten about it. Um, but yeah, just throw yourself out there like I did. If friends are saying, "Hey, you want to play drums for my band?" Do it, because I'm so fucking happy I did. Because with Chris and Henry, man, they did me a really good thing. Because not only does music make me happy, but it's I've met a lot of fucking really cool people through music. Family, friends, like family, through music. So it's been just a fucking awesome journey. And like, yeah, if you're 40, like I started at 40, so I fucking did it. So you can do it.
Yeah,
um, yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Even if you just want to jam in your basement or in your fucking living room, you never want to show anybody anything, your craft, that's fine. Do it, man. Not everybody has to go on the stage. That's not a prerequisite. Like, it's not something that if you play an instrument, you have to go play it on the stage. You're gonna want to, though. You're gonna want to. I said fuck that. I'm not ever gonna go on the stage with my drum kit, and I did. So um, I was like 4 months in when I played where for like a well-established band and a really good drummer. Again, this is what I mean by musicians are fucking pretty rad sometimes. This guy's a fucking endorsed drummer. I've been playing for 3, 4 months. I hurt my fucking shoulder. I fell off a ladder and it hurt my shoulder and back. So I was kind of fucking half-assed, just barely rolling into the fucking gig. We're supposed to play. We're opening, and we're the only band that played that night because the fucking lights went out in Brandon.
no,
So we were the opener and the headliner that night, and but got the other drummer was just like, he knew I was fucking green, like there's no doubt about it. But he was so fucking supportive. He was like, "You keep fucking hitting that fucking kit, and you keep playing because that's fucking awesome." And like, yeah, he was excited for me almost, like when I stepped off the stage, he was the first guy there to kind of shake my hand and congratulate me for the set. And this is an endorsed dude, very endorsed and been in big bands. So it felt good. And I still talk to him to this day, actually. Shout out. And still talk to these guys, the same guys, same band, and they're still pushing, keep pushing. They're mad at me because I stepped away for a bit. They're like, "Come on, just keep going." And I'm like, "No, no, no." Like, yeah. No, but Steve Harlell, man, fucking shout out to Steve and Pepe Poliquin, man, two awesome dudes for X's for Eyes and Endast, and so and also vets, man, like yeah, you don't have to shine somebody's shoes, but go up and pat somebody on the back, if it's a young kid, man, get them, show some love, right? You don't have to fucking you don't have to pump their tires or nothing, but just show some love, and it goes a long way. Some people, the smallest little compliment, they'll just big fucking grin on their face, eh? And I'm a big complimenter. I go around to everybody and I'm like, good fucking job. And I'm hugging and I'm high fiving. And
Yeah.
yeah, hey, being on stage, it's tough. Some people, and I take this for granted a little bit too much, maybe. I've been involved in PR and shit my whole life and stuff. And I took the Toastmasters course way back in the day. So I've never really had too much anxiety on stage. But our guitar player and our singer and a lot of people I know, they deal with really harsh anxiety on stage. And so that little compliment, man, can just change their day because they just went through fucking 45 minutes of hell probably up there,
Yeah.
which sounds weird. You're playing music and it's supposed to be fun, but sometimes guys have a hard time. And I'm talking about guys like our professionals. I know Rod Stewart fucking still talks about having fucking anxiety on stage. Rod Stewart, um, never be ashamed of it. Never ever be ashamed of anxiety. It just means you're a fucking human being. If you're not anxious, then maybe we're doing it wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not to say that I don't have anxiety, but it's pretty. I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much. But I'm used to being on stage and in front of people, and I usually have about 10 beer in me too, which helps. But I know like some people, like I said, man, lots of hats off to a lot of people that deal with that. So yeah, go out there and compliment and fucking support. Go to as many shows as you can and try to support your fellow musicians. I know everybody's busy in their life, but it means a lot when guys show up for our shows. It means a lot that they showed up for us. So
Well, even if they like pages of local bands or, share their posts out. If you can't make it, at least you can
or
help
even
someone
that,
else
yeah,
know about it to make it.
even and there's a lot of guys that don't make it to shows. They got life, they got wives, kids, and all that, but they're sharing my stuff and they're posting all the time about that's huge. That's still a big help, and I really appreciate that. Everybody today, I just excuse me, dropped my locals only 16 event, and I had 6 shares within the first hour, and I was so happy about those shares. I'm like, wow, thank you. It just shows people like, no, fucking, let's get the word out. Let's get the word out. And I'm always sharing stuff from everybody else too. Um, I'll go to other people's shows. I don't just go to my shows. I go to Dag's shows. I go to any shows I can make it out to. And it's great. I mean, like I said, our scene is fucking awesome. And the Manitoba scene in general is just fucking peak right now. Like some guys might argue with me, but yeah, it's going well. I mean, you can look at Winnipeg. Fucking Corey's got shows lined up. That's one thing about COVID. Quickly, COVID scared a lot of people. Scared me. I was like, where the fuck are we gonna go after this? Especially guys that have, been around for so many. If you're younger and then didn't really see the difference, but when we're used to going to concerts,
Yeah.
and then nothing, and then like, well, what's gonna happen after? This is making me so fucking happy that this is what happened after. There's so many shows that you can't even go to all of them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a
Everyone's
good
paid.
that's a really good problem to have, honestly. It sucks because you can't get to every one, but it's a good problem to have. Better than one show or 2 shows and nothing. I mean, my wallet's already fucking yelling, the fucking just screaming at me. Taking my daughter Jessie Reyes, we went to BTO. Now it's Def Leppard, and then she just sent me Papa Roach today, and we got to get corn tickets. So fucking broke, kids. It's a lot of money. Yeah. But love concerts, and the fact that my kid still like I said, she was 8 years old and she's 22 now, and she's still as excited as she was when she was 8 to go to a fucking concert. So that's another thing too. If you can go to concerts, go to concerts. I know it's expensive; it's very expensive now, but if you're able to, and take your kids if you can. It's one of the best things I ever did as a dad, honestly, is take my daughter to concerts, because to this day, that's all she talks to her friends about. And I used to get high fives from her teachers in school, like, "You're a cool dad. Black Sabbath, right on, dad." Like, yeah, like, oh, my kid's gonna miss the morning. I remember one time, quickly, sorry, story time here. All of a sudden, um, very quick. My daughter, like, because we'd go to like concerts sometimes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? It's like fucking shitty. And we went on a Thursday, I think. So it was a Friday, and I got a phone call from the school that they wanted to talk to me, and I was like, I thought something happened. My kid was getting in trouble again. Jaden, you never got in trouble in high school, right? Yeah. So I go in there, and no, they're shitting on me because she was late for school that day, and because of the concert. And they're like, "Well, we've talked, and we've decided that we don't think you should be taking her to concerts during the week anymore." And I'm like, "Who decided?" "We did this. We decided." I'm like, "That's fucking great. It doesn't really matter because it's nothing to do with you." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What am I?" Okay, and then one of the other teacher comes by, and he's like, "You know what, man? What you're doing is awesome. You're a good dad, Ken." He says, "You're giving your daughter a memory." And he says, "You don't let those fucking ladies fucking tell you anything." And I'm like, "I didn't. I told them both to beat it."
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Well, and that's just it, right? You live for the memories you make in life.
hey, we went to a concert maybe once a month. I mean, come on, how beyond ridiculous. There's fucking parents that would have their kids, late because they didn't get up and they're drinking the night before. Like this, I'm taking my daughter to a fucking concert, like, she was too white. You go to Winnipeg, fuck, you're coming home at 2, 3 in the morning, eh? Especially in the wintertime. You don't know what the fucking roads are going to be. And at one time it took us 4.5 hours to get home because the fucking winter came in. And so, yeah, we didn't fucking arrive home till 4 or 5 in the morning. And I'm not going to make my kid go to school at 8. So there's no use. She doesn't even like school as it is. So,
Well, exactly. She's going to
but I
be
said,
so
at least
zombified.
I brought her in the afternoon. Like, what's the big hubbub, right? I always
Yeah.
told her, you have to go to school. You can't miss the whole day. You got to at least go for half a day if we go to a concert. And she always did. So it was awesome. That's fine.
Awesome.
And that's the end of my story. Sorry, dude. He's like, Jesus, Ken, here you go again.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So, that's really all I got for you because you knocked it all off in your stories for the most part.
There, see?
Yeah, see the stories benefit.
He's like,
That's
that's enough, Ken. The thing in the back's going, shut up, shut up.
But
Yeah.
do you have any questions for me at all, Ken?
Not at all. All I want to say to you is I appreciate everything that you do for the scene as well. And you do a lot, like a lot, especially in the Neepawa area, but you do for a lot for the Westman area too. And it never goes, like, yeah, never stop thinking about that, man. Like anything you need, I'm always here for you guys too as well. And
That's
you're
awesome.
doing a great service to the scene, man. So thank you. Cheers to you.
No, thank you. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
greatly appreciated. We do what we can with what we're given.
That's all we can do. It takes a village, kids, right? It takes a village, and there's a lot of people in the village, and a lot of good people that help. And I shout out a few tonight, so hopefully they'll like, oh, thanks, Ken. Yeah,
But
keep
yeah,
keep listening to music and keep going to shows, everybody. Support your local music, support your local bands, support your local businesses, and that's all I got to say.
perfect.
That's it. Right on.